Hey, I want to ask you something. Are you trying to sell something on your website?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, who else would I be talking to? Are you trying to sell something on your website?
Of course, Wes. That's the point of a website.
Well, then let me ask you this.
And this is for everyone watching.
When a visitor lands on your website, what's the main objective that you want to meet? Usually, it's to give a little bit of info on what you do and how you're going to help your potential client. Then, once they've absorbed all that information, there should only be one question that they have left to ask from their experience on your website, and that's, how do I get what you're selling me?
How'd you get in here?
It sounds simple enough, but I kid you not, this is the single biggest piece of advice I give on my channel that everybody ignores. So click right here and I'll show you how.
Sorry, what now?
And that is not giving your CTA enough attention. And if you don't know, a CTA is your call to action. You know, those buttons that tell you what's next and that you want your users to actually click on to get started in working with you. In fact, 70% of small businesses don't even feature a call to action on their homepage at all. Now, this is a massive missed opportunity because a call to action, true to its name, encourages your users to take action, which is what drives conversions, lead generation, and sales. However, despite it being an indisputable fact that CTAs are a necessary part of any website, hardly anyone actually treats it that way. And the ones that do use one almost always get it wrong. Now, there are many ways you could half-ass your call to action button, and these mistakes generally fall into two main categories: messaging and design. So let's talk about those messaging mistakes first, because it's not enough to just put out any call to action and hope that everyone's gonna bite, right? You have to use the right bait, and vague passive language just ain't gonna cut it.
I'm not ready.
Do I though?
Yeah! What was the question?
Here's a truth for you. If your ask is in any way unclear, that's no sale. So to combat that and make sure that your call to action is incredibly clear and specific, here are a few tips and best practices that I've always used on my own and on my clients' websites as well. So first, you want to use specific action words whenever possible. Words like book, get, or schedule show initiative and will always outperform words like submit, contact, or the dreaded learn more. Because when you see a button that says contact us or learn more, how clear are you on what the next step is? When you click that little button, are you gonna be filling out a form and then just wait for an email back? Does the button open up a chat window or dial them up directly on the phone? And what's that conversation even gonna be about? And see, that lack of clarity right there is gonna subconsciously stop a huge percentage of your visitors from going any further with you. So be specific and emphasize the action step and what they're actually signing up for. Next, you want to pay attention to the words you and me in your calls to action. So conversion rate optimization expert Michael Agard did a study where he just changed a single word in his call to action just due to a hunch, and he saw a pretty incredible and unexpected result. So he changed the button text "Start my free 30-day trial" to "Start your free 30-day trial," because he thought that since the whole page up till now was using second person language, talking to visitors using the word you suddenly, switching to first person and the word my would be jarring, and his hunch told him that that would make click-through rates worse. Turns out he couldn't have been more wrong. So that one simple, well-meaning change made click-throughs plummet, and when he changed it back to "Start my free 30-day trial," click-throughs shot up by 90%. So maybe jarring is good in this case, and that just goes to show you sometimes you need to do something unexpected to get the results you want. And continuing on with that last example, maybe you noticed he included the word free in his CTA. Well, that just happens to be my next tip. So the word free is an incredibly powerful motivator, and maybe you're not offering anything for free, in which case Fair enough, but if you're a service provider, the first step toward working with you is often some kind of free consultation or call. So if you were to simply include the free word in there, you'll be surprised how much extra that can count for. Okay, so now let's move on to the call to action mistakes that fall more into that design category. So your main CTA needs to do a few things. It needs to be really obvious, and it needs to be consistent. By obvious, I mean it needs to stand out amongst everything else on your site. In other words, this isn't the time for subtlety. Make your call to action button a bold color that works with your color scheme, but very clearly stands out from the other colors. And what this also means is you don't want to use that same color anywhere else on your entire website. Not in your logo, or in your icons, or in your text, nowhere but your call to action button. And the other part of this is consistency. So part of making your CTA obvious is repeating it over and over again in various places around your site. And when you do that, that button should be 100% the same each and every time you use it. I'm talking same color, same text, same overall style. Because you want your calls to action to be recognizable across all of your pages. That gives you the opportunity to include it in multiple places without overwhelming your visitor. Think of it like the traffic light of your website. So without question, you know that green is go and red is stop, right? Let blue, or whatever color works best with your branding on your website, undoubtedly mean book a call. You get the idea. We really don't need to reinvent the wheel here. And I actually have a super simple trick you can pair with your call to action button that's been shown to double conversion rates by adding one short sentence. So I made this video all about it. Just click right here and I'll show you what it is and how to use it. So again, click right here and I'll meet you over there in just a second.